Recording start. All right. Hi everyone. I'm Echoes and I'm a VTuber, and yeah, I think my PNG2 froze. It'll freeze occasionally, so do not be surprised. Yeah,
Time.
yeah, and everyone, if you could everyone introduce you. Oh wait, sorry. Let me briefly mention the topic. So we'll be talking about the our thoughts of the Fate Strange Fake anime series, season 1 specifically, as that just finished. We watched the OVA and 13 episodes afterwards. And yeah, and then if everyone, you could all introduce yourselves. These people are friends of mine and are knowledgeable about Fate, and it'll be cool to have a bit of a discussion together. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who should start?
Oh, Avalon, I think you
start?
start. You start first. Let's go in order, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Avalon, the Voyager, or just Avalon for short. Hi. I'm a friend.
And I am Hex. You could just call me Hex.
Greetings, everyone. Kite here. You can just call me Kite.
Awesome. And then I'm on the bottom here. The Water Dark is just my main username. Echoes is the VTuber name, just nobody's confused. Okay. Anyway, alrighty. So this image in the background has been shared after the series has ended as the to be continued, hinting on an upcoming season 2 eventually, whenever that comes out. What do you think this is?
I think this looks really cool. What's interesting to me is the fact that Sigma is among them. Like basically it's Saber, Ayaka, and then Sigma. It's very interesting that Sigma is there because usually I think the series always pointed towards Saber and Ayaka being like the two main casts. So Sigma being there feels like he will have a much larger role in part 2.
And considering what his motivations are at this point, I have to wonder if this is going to lead to an inevitable clash.
Indeed.
That's true.
Because
Honestly,
yeah,
I think the unique part about it is the fact that we have someone resolving to destroy the Grail like this early. I'm pretty sure, like in Fate Zero, it happens like very near towards the end, or at least towards the climax, where people start to get a better idea of what's going on. Also, it always catches me off guard how small he is right next to Ayaka. Dang.
Yeah, he's a short kid.
He's our short king.
Short king indeed. So
Short king.
I
He's a
have
short
these.
guy.
Yep. Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah. Just by as you're aware, the anime series covers up to volume 6 of the light novels. 7, 8, and 9 are already available in, if I remember, has been translated by Beastlayer already. Volume 10 will be coming out, I believe, in the summer of this year. I believe July, I think, 2026. As Narita was watching anime, he's like, "Hey, I gotta fix something." Thus, he is fixing it up at the moment. And because the thing is that Volume 10 was supposed to come out with the Fate Strange Fake collab with Fate Grand Order, but he pushed it back a few months. We'll see what he figures out.
Likely a wise choice on his end.
Yeah, and I have 2 hints for what this is. One, it's definitely let's see. It's definitely gonna be, let's see. One is that it's gonna be Sigma is definitely gonna have a larger role, as he's already gaining more of identity as the Lancer, right? The true Lancer. So I think he's gonna definitely become more of a servant. So more servant-like, maybe like a pseudo servant. I'm not sure. I didn't read the Avalon 7, 8, and 9. That made talk about more in detail. And second is I'm gonna do a slight spoiler warning, just so it's gonna be very vague though. This is something caused by Ishtar, so 99% is caused by Ishtar. So
the tornado in the background, you mean?
Yes.
Oh,
it's gonna be hard for me to talk on this because I have actually read through that part.
Yeah, like can you confirm if that's I'm being very vague intentionally, but is that correct, Avalon?
If I answer yes or no, it's gonna be a spoiler. Are you
Is
guys
it?
all right with that?
You guys okay with that or no? Because we're trying not to be too detailed.
Audience? Are they okay with it?
We'll have to do spoiler warning no matter what.
The comments.
I don't. I feel like since we're
honest.
sorry.
What I
Yeah.
was gonna say is, I'll be 100% honest on this one.
Yeah.
Since I am coming from the perspective of someone who has read the visual novel for Fate, who has watched Zero, dabbled a little bit in Apocrypha, did not like it, and messed with this, I'm just gonna be. Oh wait, I almost forgot. I've also checked out Babylonia. I'm at the point where it's like, if you guys want to spoil little things like this to get me a little hyped, I am not going to complain. I am just going to look forward to it at that point. So hit me. Drop it.
Well, I was just gonna say, since we're talking about the anime, I just feel like it would be counterintuitive to talk about things way ahead already and spoil.
I mean,
I think
it's true.
I think it's to be the thing is that as much as I like to say otherwise, people are going to spoil it because literally there's 3 other volumes. Like, I'm sorry, I can't help you with that. But regardless, I will mention it. But yeah, I do agree though that like I think just be very vague. I think like we're not going to go into detail why, but yes, but
Yeah,
I think
I would agree. I would prefer as spoiler free as possible for myself.
okay,
at
that
the
makes
very
sense.
least.
So I do think as much
That's
as I like to
fair.
say otherwise, there will be spoilers. At least like at least very vague spoilers. But what do you think, Avalon? Do you want to just like say just like a indefinite answer or more like confirm yes or no or just no comment also is fine too. Either way is fine.
You cool with that, Hex? I don't want to spoil it for you because
No,
you've been
this part
enjoying.
this part you could like just say a vague yes or no.
Yeah,
But I mean like for
that's
the
what I'm
other
hoping
stuff.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
we
what we're
know a
looking
lot.
at right now. Oh, my bad. Sorry.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. It's hard to tell it's hard to tell when someone's talking when you're not in front of them. You can go.
No, I was basically just gonna echo what Hex was saying. Like, I think what we can talk about here within what we're looking at is a fair game as far as speculation goes. And if you know a little thing of what we can expect, I don't necessarily mind it from a speculative standpoint. We don't have to drop the bomb on literally everything, but since we're kind of theory crafting on this for the most part, I think it's fair game.
Okay. Well, we've largely seen most, if not all, of the major players, especially when it comes to the servants so far. I want you to. All I'm gonna say right now is I want you to look down the list and see which which one of them has a tangential connection to storms.
That's
If
fair.
if you are familiar with Fate Grand Order, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I actually already know. So I will not elaborate why. But yes, I think at least based on my speculation alone, I think Ishtar will be doing something. That's what I think. Because as we know, she has been introduced as sort of like a goddess summoned in the circumstance that Gilgamesh and Enkidu are summoned in a Grail War. Specifically in that situation. And she is here to cause havoc as a true goddess, chaotic goddess. So I'm expecting her to do crazy shit. That's it.
It's super interesting for her. Like I think a couple of episodes back, it's super interesting because I'm just saying this because I'm very blind. I don't really know. I didn't. Well, maybe you kind of you kind of give the hint that she's more of a villainous character, but I never really got the hint of where her alignments are, because of how she talks about like what was it? I think did she have like this? I forgot the girl's name.
Oh, I have it
but she has a
up
berserker.
on the stream.
Wait, let me see. What was it? If I
Yeah.
can't read it, it's too small.
Sorry.
Basically, Ishtar's like servant. Like
Yeah.
the one
So
who's
the thing is
following her.
that she's was summoned with True Berserker. Okay, and True Berserker was summoned by Hyrie, who is a
There you go,
female
Hyrie, I was
mage.
saying. Yeah.
And who True Berserker is, I think, hasn't been technically revealed yet. It is also a spoiler. I'm not going to mention who, but if you look it up, you could find it yourself. But regardless, yeah, there's a reason why she's there. So at the very least, she is planning something. So yeah.
I just want to point out an interesting thing about how this how do you say that the Ishtar character, she like Hyrie says to her like, what is your motivation or why are you doing this? And then she says, well, it's to save humanity. And it's very interesting. I think it makes you think about like what is her perception of saving humanity?
Kind of
Yes,
goes
as a
which kind of
goddess.
goes back which kind of goes back to what we were kind of discussing before we got the recording done, because the problem is whenever you go up to the Holy Grail, it is very possible for that wish to get corrupted. But now we have another angle. What exactly does saving humanity mean from the perspective of a goddess? Because when it comes to fate, it's always a matter of these things can only be done within the purview and the mindset of the person who commits to the goal. So I have to wonder, what does Ishtar mean by saving humanity? Because she's not necessarily just here to serve as kind of like a bulwark to ensure that Gilgamesh and Enki don't destroy the planet. I think there's a little bit more to what she's after, just based
Mm-hmm.
on this.
Yeah, she's the type of person who will really spite you, like, a lot.
And we love
Um,
her. We don't love her any less for it.
yeah, because in FGO she's
Honest,
oops, sorry. Oop.
honestly, I think her coming back just to spite Gilgamesh and Enkidu in like the one specific way that could have screwed Gilgamesh over in that exact moment was kind of based. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I want to emphasize this. I think someone in the previous reading pointed it out, but the way Gilgamesh got taken out was just so hyper specific. It's kind of almost funny. Like
I mean,
uh
the setup for it is ridiculous, like you're saying, now that you
yeah.
put it into perspective. Because think about it. The setup is like, all right, you have Gilgamesh and Enkidu play for a little while. You sit back for a little while longer. You call freaking Humbubba to take care of him, which, by the way, I just want to point out, when I realized it was Humbubba, Echoes and I were actually talking in VC at one point, and they kind of hinted around it, but then once the gears in my head started turning, I just asked, wait, that's actually Humbubba? So as soon as we got to that moment again and they played it again, I just couldn't believe it. It was like the biggest mind blow I've ever seen. It just feels like professional trolling on her part, and I love her to
Yeah.
death for it.
Like
Hmm.
like to illustrate this, he got paralyzed by the Hydra. He got like partially paralyzed by the Hydra poison. Ishtar, the one person who could have used that key to close his gate, somehow found the key he threw away earlier and closed his gate, his gate to Babylon. And then, the one person in myth that the one person that ever could have been summoned that wasn't Enkidu that could directly threaten him was standing right in front of him, point blank, ready to fire. Like, if you told me he had E minus rank in that very moment, I would not blame you. That was literally a one. I feel like all those events lining up had to have been like a 1 in a million chance in
They
any other.
really do. Like, this is some Count of Monte Cristo type bullshit.
And like I'm pretty sure it was 90%, like 60% improvised by Ishtar showing up there. Too. It just sort of happened.
Yeah,
Mm.
like when it comes to fate, little things just have a really funny way of working out, but it just feels like this was almost a little too perfect. But I'm not gonna complain, because what better way to take Gilgamesh out in a way that just feels semi-perfect? You can ask Shiro about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Yeah. So as we mentioned, right? We already have the Babylonian faction, right? Technically, we have Gilgamesh is AFK. He's out of commission. I think that's gonna
Mhm.
be it's gonna be like that for a while, sadly. Enkidu is luckily still there, and then we have Ishtar, and then we have, as mentioned, the true Berserker reveal name is Humbaba. So just you guys can look into the details separately. But as we know with Fate, right? Servants who are directly related in their lore tend to be stronger or weaker depending on who it is. It's kind of like how Hercules, what's called Achilles, right? Has the Achilles heel weakness, right? It's like in that way that anything involving that heel related to myth will obviously kill him, of course.
Hmm.
In this case, in the myth with Babylonia, right? So Enkidu and in their myth, right? Enkidu and Gilgamesh went to kill Humbaba in the forest, as Gilgamesh deemed it to be like a monster that was a threat to humanity. Blah blah blah, right? Killed it, right? And and Enkidu is kind of like ambivalent on it. It's like this guy like kind of was my friend, but I guess my friend wants to kill it too, so I guess I'll kill it more, I suppose. But we know because of that, lingering resentment, it come back in full force, and essentially Gilgamesh essentially incapacitated, stood no chance, sadly. Um, and then Enkidu's still around, but I don't think he wants to confront Humbaba directly either. He doesn't have Gilgamesh with him. So most likely Humbaba will be a very powerful player in the rest of the series. So yeah.
Just looking it up now because when you mentioned connections, I looked it up now because um I looked it up now because I was interested in just confirming it. But I believe uh I believe one of the things that led to the gods deciding to punish and then eventually lead to the death of Enkidu was their contribution in the killing of Humbaba as well. So
Yes.
like
Yeah, that's a point in the myth from what I remember reading of it.
yeah,
Mhm.
so I'm pretty sure there's a solid chance that Enkidu is going to be instrumental in taking him out, and B, doing so will probably take Enkidu out in some way. In some way, servants have a way of repeating the stories that they lived in life. It's fate.
Yeah.
It's by design. It's by design too. It's like a literal built-in weakness for certain heroic spirits. So I think
Mhm.
that makes sense if it's being set up for that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could ask Dearmund about that. He learned that lesson the hard way
Yeah,
within Fate Zero.
or like how Moriarty literally has a type weakness to having a detective expose his crime. He literally gets a debuff if you do that, which
Mhm.
I like. I love how you can just really tell. You can really tell, like you can predict where it's going based off the myth alone. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And also just some, let's see, I don't know if everyone see, I'll share this picture in the chat real quick because I realize that's why people are struggling with understanding. This is a little old. There's no new version of this image yet. They usually reveal it like a few days after the episode, but I'll just share the one from last week. So just so we have a nice visual of the current cast.
Mhm.
Obviously we don't have the new players yet, but I would say I just want quickly before we go into the previous cast, I want to mention some interesting parts. So one is that we get an introduction of a true what do you call it, dead apostle ancestor, Mr. Van Fem, I think was what they called him.
Flatfem or something, or Flatfem or Bald Fem.
Yeah, something like that. So he is extremely powerful, right? Like I think they just quickly, he's like essentially what's his name, Jester's like ancestor. It's like they're probably like the same like dead apostle family or something like that. But as you know,
This
the
is
Van Fem is
this.
higher.
Yeah, I believe he's within the true ancestor tier. Basically, you can think of them as like godlike vampires. To sum it up, dead apostles are more like, how do I put this? They're a little. Let's just say that they're a little closer to zombies on the bottom of the tier. But as you get a little bit higher, you start to get like godlike entities. But true ancestors are above that. This is going into some Tsukihime stuff.
Yeah,
Mm,
if I recall, ever Nasu Narita confirmed that Jester was around like in terms of in terms of in tiering amongst the dead apostles, he's actually fairly low, like 3 or 4, which would put him
That doesn't
around the
surprise me.
yeah, it puts him on the same tier as like a not a servant a server servant, you know what I mean. But
Yeah. I think that means he may be a little bit below Roa in that sense, but again, that's getting into Tsukihime, and we don't got time for that.
Mhm.
mm,
before we
But
continue, Before we continue, I just want to point out that the director saying that this is a good starting point is ever what was it? Ever the director or I think the no, not the anime man, Garnt, saying this was a good starting point was just flat out wrong. This reference is
no,
this
it
reference
really
is
isn't.
this reference is so much stuff across the entirety of not just Fate but Type Moon in general.
Yeah,
Literally,
it's absolutely insane, man.
we
I would
literally
I would
had a
love to recommend this to like people. I would love to recommend this show to people, but it's like super. There's so many, yeah, like you said, there's so many references that it's like really like you can't enjoy it to the fullest without watching some of the other aspects of
Yeah,
Fate.
it's essentially like a Gundam situation. It's like, for example, it's like me watching Unicorn before you watch the original trilogy, which you can enjoy. I've done it before. But it is not quite the same without at least having watched Fate Zero, which was heavily referenced in episode 13, and at least one of the made Fate Stay Night adaptations, whether it's the original Unlimited Blade Works or Heaven's Feel. You need to at least watch one of them. I think they want to recommend Unlimited Blade Works because that's like the most accessible to people. But at the very least, you want to watch Zero. At the very least,
Yeah, they're very reverent to Zero, and honestly, I feel that's one of the best parts of this because I have a personal love for Zero, and my mother in particular loves Fate Zero. So being able to like revisit the talk amongst the kings, which was genuinely one of Zero's best scenes, it really just it's kind of like what Avalon mentioned earlier. There is a large degree of freedom that Nasu gives his writers whenever they decide to work on the property. So seeing this bit of a handshake between Gen Urobuchi, Narita, and Nasu all at the same time, there's something really, really special about that. I know Zero is not beloved by some parts of the Fate fandom, I understand, but I kind of like it when continuity ends up shaking hands like this rather than rejecting, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
If I had to add something, it's that I also want to add that like Ishtar's whole deal heavily references the seventh singularity of Fate Grand Order. Like
Oh,
there's a reason why I was able to tell exactly what that teaser was meant to be. It is extremely obvious. It is extremely obvious to anyone who's read through the Babylonia chapter what it means. But yeah.
Yes, I agree. If you played it, you know. But let's see. Should I
What if you
hint at
watched
what
it?
I mean? By the way, it's very briefly mentioned in Babylonia, but she essentially lost something extremely important in
Oh
Babylonia.
yeah.
I will
Yeah,
not
it was
mention what it
Something
is.
Junjulun?
Do not
I
mention
don't
what
know.
it is. But she lost
I don't know
something,
the name.
okay?
Yeah.
She lost something extremely important, and that's because this Ishtar has done something. That's why. Anyway, sorry, I'm
yeah.
being vague. That's very vague. Please do not specify exactly what I'm talking about. That's a spoiler.
I want what I want.
Yeah,
That
but
is secret save me.
but that is my clue for you guys. Essentially, yeah. So this whole mess, or at least the this background image, which I'll share briefly again because I'm blocking it. No, that's not what I meant. This one. Yeah. So, Ishtar is definitely planning something, and it's actually directly linked to the Babylonia singularity. Um, but it's not really elaborated on much, but it's briefly mentioned in her introduction. But I will not elaborate any further than that. Thank you. Bring back the
Yeah.
cast image.
Her other self.
Anyway,
Okay.
Her other self. Her other self. Consider what happened with her other self. She probably thought it was a load of bull.
yeah, I know a
But
whole little bull indeed.
I will
Um,
point this out,
mhm.
or like I'm pretty. How do you say this? I think I discussed this with both Echoes as well as Avalon, but like I always counted Sigma and Assassin as like one team, especially because I don't know. I just counted them as one team before, but but now like with Sigma's newfound ambition,
Mm,
it makes it even more clearer that Assassin and Sigma are going to be like even more aligned in their objective, especially because Assassin 100% doesn't support the Grail at all.
yeah,
So she will probably join Sigma's side and like, yeah, let's destroy the Grail.
yeah. I think
Which
is
I am
they'll.
very
nice.
much looking
Yeah.
forward to, like seeing them. Their goals are even more like aligned. I kind of want to see
Mm-hmm.
like
more of that
what I find
collaboration.
what I find interesting is that this is very much the result of like fake of like the fake side of things, like the false servants being summoned and rebelling at this point. Granted, we're kind of only seeing that with Assassin right now, but the fact that she's pairing up with Sigma to this capacity, again, it just feels like a born rebel, like a rebellion born to just take down the system. And like I said before, I've always been a huge fan of that. I've always liked this idea of here's a system that we've established, and now we have characters that, in theory, were created against it to begin with. Because again, we had the fake servants, and now we have the real ones. But now we have at least two of them rebelling against it to tear it all down. Now, usually the Holy Grail is always kind of like on the target near the end for most Holy Grail wars to begin with. But what we have here that's a bit different is the fact that we are resolving to destroy it intentionally. We're not doing it because it just might tangentially like save a Sakura Mato, for example. We're not doing it tangentially because it might save a Shinji Mato or prevent the destruction of Fuyuki. No, we're outright going to destroy it because at this point, it's not doing anyone any good, bro. It's just not.
Yeah. It is very. I'm pretty sure it's very rare for. It is very rare for people to for like the people in the Grail War to come to that conclusion that early.
Very much so. Like
Okay.
we have, I mean, and hell, we've only on a technical level, we've only lost 3 masters since this all started. The fact that we've learned this, that we've come to this conclusion when it's only 3, well, not even 3 masters, honestly, because the parents don't really count. Let's be honest.
No,
The fact
technically
that
we only lost one.
in
Yeah.
flats. So the fact that we've only lost
yeah.
like 1 this early in, and this is the conclusion we've come down to, it's like I don't mind the idea of speedrunning the chaos, but I just have to wonder how much chaos will be born in the interim as a result.
Honestly,
I
I
don't know if this is an old joke or not, but I
Mhm.
will say it anyways. The only Sigma male that I will tolerate is Sigma from Fate Street.
Giga-based.
He's the only Sigma that I can tolerate.
Damn right.
You know, I
This
think
is-
like at this. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I feel like at this point, it's probably rare for a Grail War to not end. It would be rare for a Grail War to not end in the Grail being smashed to pieces, like statistically.
Indeed. For
Like-
sure.
Yeah, because I think at least historically, right? I feel like the only time I think we got to confirm Grail War finish, right, is essentially what it called the Fuyuki in FGO technically
Yeah,
finished.
and that did not go well for anyone.
No, it did not go well for
Afterwards.
anyone, but that's at least one only ones that the Grail War proceeded as planned, as the typical Grail War. No smashing the cup or anything, stuff like that. But yeah, okay. And just want to quickly mention, since I have the cast image here, I just want to say, does anyone have any thoughts on the current cast so far, outside of Flat being most likely dead? I mean, he literally got shot through the head, so he's technically the first master kill. Gilgamesh is technically the first servant technically kill.
I will
well.
theorize something regarding Flat, right?
Mhm.
It's the fact of the vampire guy, Sir Ball, I don't know what his name was. Sir something.
Yeah.
He did say something like I will give him a blessing in return. So okay, obviously no spoilers, but I'm holding out hope that maybe he will still live somehow. I don't know.
It
I'm holding
seems
out
that
some sort of hope.
I mean, it's clear that he knows El Malloy and is familiar with Flat, so it may not necessarily be outside of the realm of possibility for him to come back at this point. And if there's one thing I've learned throughout my forays into the Nasuverse, if you make a deal with a dead apostle, there's a very good chance that you're going to see some impossible shit happening as a result. That's just how this works. I mean,
Yeah.
you're already and on the true ancestor level, yeah, get ready for some reality bending nonsense, bros.
Can I ask one thing, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so I've only seen the Fate Stay Night stories and Fate Zero, and I guess Babylonia.
Mhm.
In any of those 3, and okay, fine, and also Apocrypha. We'll count that in, even though I didn't really finish it. But within those animes, was there ever an appearance of a dead apostle? Because I feel like this is the first time I'm seeing it in a Fate's universe. You know?
Technically, yes, we did see
Mhm.
them on Kiritsugu's island. Those ghouls that you saw, technically
Oh.
speaking, yeah, they fall
Oh,
under
okay.
the rank of dead apostles, but they're like level 1. They're lower than dirt. They're the same ones that you actually see in Tsukihime. They don't really have much guiding them. They just only exist to eat and survive at that point. when you get characters like, mild spoilers, Satsuki, those dead apostles are a bit more aware of what's going on, but the problem with them is they're driven by an unstoppable force to consume. So yeah, those are the lowest levels that we can think of right now.
And I just want to add an addendum. We technically have had some dead apostles. Actually, a flat-out true ancestor in Fate Grand Order. Sort of. She has this weird thing where she's like a true ancestor, but not really, but also kinda. It's weird. But,
That's
yeah.
fun, actually.
Which character was she? I don't know.
It's in Fate Grand Order. You may...
But is it in Babylonia? Okay, no,
No,
it's
not
not in
Babylonia.
Babylonia. Okay.
It's somewhere else.
Okay.
But, yeah. In terms of the Master Servant pairs, I guess I'm in agreement. Sigma's probably my favorite. Flat was also my favorite. Gosh, this was my Flat and Berserker were my favorite Master Servant pair, like, period.
Jack the no, look, his servant is a freaking god. I love Jack the Ripper. Bro.
Yeah.
I love him.
In the Fate Grand Order
you don't
collab,
mean the real guy, right?
No!
I'm just joking.
What if I did? What would you do if I did?
I would hate like how I usually hate.
I don't love you any less for it.
Sure.
Oh, before I continue on this character thing, I 100% echoes. Mark my words on this. I'm betting money on this. One of the collab servants is probably going to be a Jack the Ripper Flat Escardo's pseudo servant, like you know how Waver is with Zhuge Liang, or John was. Yeah, John was the other one. It would be so easy for them to just make Flat a pseudo servant for Jack the Ripper. They literally, it's pretty much just set up lore wise for him to do so, and we already have a good ideas on what some of his ascensions could look like. 100%. I think Flat is coming to FGO as a Jack pseudo servant.
Okay, I think my opinion, at least what I personally would like to see, is I think I actually would be interested if they ever introduce Fake Assassin, or they do something with Sigma. I feel like that'd be interesting as kind of like a welfare, maybe. Especially Sigma in particular would be a really interesting welfare in particular. But but because his servant is Watcher, he technically is only he kind of would be a lot like how he would play as a protagonist. He wouldn't play as a servant really. So that would be interesting.
I just wanted to say, yeah, I can't imagine I don't think I can really see Ayaka being the welfare, especially since she's like, I know it's not the actual Ayaka, but like, you know, I think if Ayaka would be playable, they'd start with the prototype, but I don't think they're gonna do cool stuff with it.
I don't think so either. I think honestly, Fate Strange Fake is probably the closest we'll get to a prototype, even if it's Richard instead of Arthur. But I will appreciate this close as the prototype possibility as that is possible.
Yeah. In terms of, I guess if Vlad and Berserker were my favorite, I think Bazalot and True Archer, not even True Archer. I think True Archer is okay. I just don't care much for Bazalot.
Okay, actually, a round question because it's faster this way, or like just a good way to like for the viewers, I guess. But yeah, what is everyone's favorite character in this show so far? And I mean, mine is obvious. I like Sigma and I like No Name Assassin. Those two are my favorite characters, I think, so far with this show.
Sigma, No Name Assassin, Flat, and Jack the Ripper. Those are my favorites.
Okay, picking a single one is not fun, so I'm just going to cheat like you guys just did. So, Flat for sure, Jack the Ripper. I love Sigma. That's my boy. I'm rooting for him. I'm also a fan of Zella-chan, or No Name Assassin. And finally, I love Ayaka and Richard. I'm kind of cheating, but I love them. They kind of represent the extremes in this case. You got the one guy who wants to absolutely destroy the Grail, and now you have another person that is fervently pursuing it. I'm with these guys all the way through. I want to see where their philosophies clash from here.
Okay, that's interesting. Let's see. I guess I'll also briefly share my answer. So, I'll also share a few multiple because as much as I'd like to say, the cast is so big, it's hard to choose just one to be completely honest with you, because you
I mean,
root for
I
some
never
and you also don't like
specified.
some.
I never specified to say one character. I just
Yeah,
said
no,
who
I
are your
agree.
favorite characters. So
Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted to
Thanks,
briefly
Hex.
mention that. But I would say I am when I started playing FGO, I was originally Enkidu biased, so naturally I'll appreciate Gilgamesh and Enkidu due to due course essentially. Obviously, fan of Ayaka Richard. They're the main heroic pair, I guess would be a way of putting it. No Name Assassin, of course. She's a very honorable lady. And then we have a flat and what do you call it, fake berserker, Jack the Ripper. They have great chemistry with each other. We also have, of course, Sigma and Watcher. They have a great like mentor-mentee dynamic, interestingly enough. And the last group I mentioned will be Hansa and his quartet, who are very much NPC characters for the most part in this war. But I will
To
appreciate
mankind.
I will appreciate Hansa in particular because he's just a cool guy. What
I
else could
love
I
him
say?
too.
I do like Hansa. He was
Cerv-
kind of a surprise for sure.
Cervantes is okay. Oh,
Mm.
I can't believe it. I forgot about my boy. I'm sorry. I can't let this end without talking about him. I forgot someone, and I'm gonna hate myself for it later. Alexandre Dumas. I cannot forget my king. I loved him so much. He was so darn cool. I'm already a fan of the Three Musketeers and the Count of Monte Cristo. So having him here as someone who can just create badass weapons and literally forge heroes off of them as a writer. Now we're all writers in this room. That's pretty badass. So I just want
He-
to give him a shout out.
Yeah, fake caster, or I guess Alexander Dumas. He was genuinely a surprise to me because I kind of
Indeed.
found him very one. I found him very one note, or I thought he was. I thought of him in a different way because he kept like being the type of guy who was like, "Oh, could you bring a woman to my room?" or something like that. He
Mhm.
kept asking for requests and stuff. So I thought like, oh, he's kind of a degenerate. But I think like he's not that just afterwards because he talked to the clan Calatine, right? And he's giving such a motivational speech to them, or he's saying like, I don't like tragedies. I like seeing heroes, right? And I want
Mhm.
and I know your motive. I think it was to I don't know, his name was Alex or John or something, the main guy with the gauntlet. It was just like
John.
I
John.
will make a hero out of you, kind of thing. Like I believe that people deserve to be heroes or something like that. That instantly like switched how I viewed Caster, and I'm like, oh, this I actually like this guy. He's a pretty cool guy.
This,
So yeah, I would agree.
Let me tell you, that is very true to his. That's very true to the stories that he tells. The tales of D'Artagnan, the Three Musketeers, and of course within the Count of Monte Cristo. Like
Yeah.
heroism is something that's not necessarily determined by bloodline to him. It's something that's determined by your actions and your philosophies. Now, granted, the heroes within his works, they usually do get their tragic deaths, but they don't necessarily lose that integrity either. So
Mm.
his means of reaching John that way, it's like you could not have honored this man's legacy or his books any better than this.
Mm. Yeah, I agree.
And
Uh,
also the if I don't mind, if we want to mention characters we don't like for the sake of
Oh.
contrast, yes.
I didn't really
Spicy time.
I didn't really care for Baz a lot that much. I'm sorry. I just didn't find him as interesting,
mm.
personally.
I will say that I don't think there's a single character that I hate. But I will say okay, this might be weird. Um I kind of feel like Ayaka is kind of weak to me at the very least. I like Saber, but Ayaka as a character I feel is a little bit weak. Even though she's given so much spotlight because right now at the very least in this story I feel like she's very much lacking motivation even though she says like, oh, I want to win the holy grail. It's like what does she want to do with it, even though we know like we discussed like, oh, holy grail is corrupted, but I just mean like ambitions still kind of matter, you know. And I feel like in terms of her it's like I don't know, I'm not vibing with it too much, not yet at the very least, but I do like Saber and I vibe with his ambitions a lot more. So yeah.
Mm.
On
I do
my end, I feel Ayaka just kind of falls into the typical role of the master within this kind of stuff. The master usually doesn't have crazy grand ambitions towards the Grail. At least not unless you're talking about characters like Kiritsugu or in this case Sigma. I feel
Mm.
Ayaka is in that position where she's still finding out what she wants because as she's kind of been hinting at before and as we've kind of been getting hints at, she's kind of marching to the beat of someone else's drum. And this is something that Richard was aware of as well. What's happening right now, or at least what I believe is happening at the moment, where Ayaka is going from here, she's going to have to figure that out for herself, and I feel that's where her character arc is going. You could argue that out of in comparison to everyone with their lofty and grand ambitions that she does kind of fall by the wayside, but honestly speaking, that's kind of the point for her. She was pulled into this with like no great will of her own, and she has finally mustered up the courage to see where she wants to go. But she ultimately doesn't have a grand ambition, not yet. But that's just part of where she is. Hell, she doesn't even know who she is. We don't know who she is. So I want to give her a little more time. But if I had to tell you who my least favorite characters were, I don't really think this is a surprise. But I have a hatred of mages by default in Fate. So when I see terrible parents and their children, I automatically despise them. So it shouldn't be a secret that I really despise Subaki's parents. I hope they burn in hell. They deserved worse.
You know what? Now that you mention it, yeah, I guess I would put them in like dislike as well. I wouldn't. How do you say this? I would dislike them as a people or something, but I will say they're well written for the purpose
Oh, for
of
sure.
being evil. So that's what I'll
Absolutely.
say.
I mean, they're mages. I mean, when you're in this long enough, this is just how they are. I still hate them though.
I guess yeah, I guess I quickly mention who I don't like. So I second Kite with not liking Subaki's parents. They're terrible parents. They're terrible people. Even though they're very typical mages. And second is I do not like Jester. He's kind of just an asshole.
I
Obsessive
love Jester.
obsessive man.
okay.
Yeah, I don't like
All
him.
right.
I
I
can get
love
that.
Jester.
All
I can
right.
get
Okay.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't want to say too much, but I sort of agree. I just don't like. He just doesn't vibe with me as like a love, like as an enjoyably hateable villain.
I'm gonna
He
be
just
honest with y'all. Here's the thing, y'all. I'll be honest. Jester is not the first of his kind in this franchise. He is not.
Mm.
Like
yeah. I don't
I
disagree.
guarantee. Like, look, here's the thing. The moment there is a dead apostle as your villain, he's gonna be one of two things: hilarious to follow or extremely unlikable. And
Mm.
he does not. He doesn't even fit. And he kind of fits in the middle of both extremes for me. He is hilarious. I love his antics, but I absolutely
Same.
want him. But I absolutely want him to die. It's kind of like
Yeah.
I like him a little more than I like Roa in Tsukihime. But the thing is, Jester unironically has more charisma than Roa does. I want to see Roa crushed in between like Gate of Babylon or crushed by an Excalibur. I don't care which one as long as he suffers. But Jester, I want him to be like a Jester and dance for me for a while before he dies. That's the difference.
I would
I
say
guess,
that's
like-
pretty fair. What?
I think it's like a your mileage kind of thing, on how you feel about
For
it.
sure.
First,
I was gonna. Oh, sorry. I thought you were.
oh, you can
finished.
go. You can go. I was
No,
done.
I was just gonna say like I think what was it? This episode, episode that we just watched in episode 13, I thought it was so. I think that was like probably the funniest or the most likable I've had with Jester because he's completely his worldview is completely broken down by someone that he looks up to, or I guess I don't know if he looks up to, but what is it, the Vandal Stem or whatever, this Dead Apostle Master, right? Just says to him like, oh, you're so obsessed with this girl. You're supposed to be rejecting your humanity. You're like a scum of the earth, right? And then Jester's whole worldview is just broken. And then he's just like, well, okay, then I'll just go all in. I'll go all in on this because I thought it was so. What was it? I thought it was so funny. He was when he said like, I will destroy everyone, and then Oh no. Was it something like when he? I don't know. I gotta see that scene again. But he was just like, now I'm more closer to assassin because I did something else. Like, oh, I will kill everyone here and such. That way, I'll be more closer to assassin in terms of like my being or like something like that, or we'll be more related to each other, so something like that. And I don't know why, but it made me laugh because of how ridiculously obsessive he is. So I'll have to look at that scene again. It was really funny.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the thing is that just to quickly explain why you mentioned that, essentially, remember the Mr. Van essentially told Flat to get rid of Jester. Essentially, you remember that from
Mhm.
episode 13, right? So
Yes.
I don't remember whether like, and then remember when Flat did like an sort of like a magecraft attack of sorts, where he was able to hit
Yeah.
the side body and the main body.
Yeah.
I think that did something. I'm not sure exactly why, but I think that did something. At least people say, at least I saw on Twitter, where they said that Flat did something in with Van's permission and essentially weakened Jester, supposedly. I don't know exact details though. Um, but I because as you know, Flat is extremely a special guy. And he is very good at manipulating magecraft. So I would say that he was able to weaken Jester, which is why he
Mm.
said, I have become so much more lowly, just like how Assassin thinks of herself as a lowly being in general. That's at least what I think the connection is, at least. So,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
I just rewatched it just this moment, and yeah, he basically says like, "Oh, I've been forsaken, and I've been cast down, and now I'm much more. I'm just like assassin. I'm more something similar to that." And it was just funny because the way, especially the voice actor, does such a good job with Jester, and
Absolutely.
and
Like,
how his pitch goes into a light like a girly voice or something. It's so funny. I don't know why, but it was just so funny. It came out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, they
like you
also.
see,
I
like
Oh,
liked
that.
it.
sorry. Keep going.
That kind of unhinged behavior, like, I swear it's just very inherent for this kind of character within Nasu's works. Like when you're dealing with characters like Roa, characters like Shiki, all cap Shiki, there's a difference. Like what right?
I'm rewatching it again.
Yeah,
Is
like
she?
Shiki with all caps. I won't get into
Okay.
that. That's a bit of a spoiler too for another thing. But what I'm saying is, when it comes to like the unhinged psychopath, you are always going to find them within Nasu's work. It could be, like I said, the characters I've mentioned, or Shinji Mato, who does something similar. You're always going to get that character, and Jester plays into the best parts of all of them, if you ask me. But what really saves him from being absolutely purely unlikable is how he plays off the cast. The way how he plays off of everyone from Cervantes to Assassin to be like being like this weird, creepy stalker, it just makes him funny. Like they could
Mm-hmm.
not have picked a better name for him. Now, this is not me telling you that you should like him because of that. I would argue that it still makes him ridiculously odious, but he's so disgusting that I love to hate him. That's what makes him fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is kind of the difference between when you make a character that is so woefully awful but you find them fun to watch. Like that's what makes this kind of villain fun. And I'm really looking forward to his future antics. I'm really
Mm,
Yeah,
looking forward
same.
to that.
mm-hmm.
I
All
feel
And
right,
like
I'm personally gonna decide to dip, but I'm
okay.
gonna let you guys continue the discussion.
Yeah, no worries.
all right.
Thanks for contributing,
See you
Hex.
around,
Hope you have
Hex.
a good
Like and
hope you
subscribe
have a
to
good
Echo's
night.
channel, guys,
Thank
and
you.
comment who's your favorite character. All right, bye.
Thank you.
See you,
See
Hex.
ya. Okay.
I just want to say,
Mhm.
I guess it was it's a mileage kind of thing, but like, there's another character that is actually somewhat similar to Jester and archetype, in Fate Grand Order. You probably, if you played through Lost Belt 7, Lost Belt 6, you probably know him, Echoes, right? Barrel Gut. And,
Oh,
he has,
him. Ugh.
he has, I feel like, I don't know why I don't vibe with Jester, but I really like Barrel. I guess I think it's because I think Barrel's psychology just really was very much more interesting towards me, and his perception of what love is. even as he was like manipulating and ruining the lives of several characters I really love.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's
Mm.
because Jester's so simple that it's more of a mileage thing for me, I guess.
And just to quickly explain, Beryl, right? So Beryl, is one of the cryptors in the Lost Spells, which is part of the part two story of Fate Grand Order. He has a particular obsession with MASH in particular, which is the obsessive part comes from. He's a crazy guy, but they do elaborate more of his background in the Lost Spell itself, which I'm not going to go into detail, but as Avalon mentioned, it's rather interesting to see his motivations, because like he's not a good person by any means, but his motivations are regardless interesting to see. So
Yeah. As well as like he has a very twisted view on love. To sum it like I guess to sum it up in a least spoilery way, to him love is something that makes you go through hell. And or something that makes you go through or puts you in hell essentially. And the way he expresses that love is just it's just weirdly fascinating to me, even though I think he's a total bastard. But yeah, I just wanted to there's maybe a cool connection there, I guess, with Jester.
hmm and I want to just quickly mention something involving Jester, which I read a little bit online. So remember in episode 13 that Hansa mentioned Dorothea to Jester in particular? So that's a reveal on like a sort of a sweet, what do I call it? Not really sweet spot. It's like a pain point for Jester in particular, because they do not like it when they're called by their original names. So Dorothea, I'm assuming, is Jester's original name. So yeah. So fun fact, that must mean Jester was originally a woman. Or female at the very least. So that was rather
Right.
interesting.
Trans representation in my fates? Well, it wouldn't be the first time.
Honestly, when I initially read that, that actually confused me at first because there's another character named Dorothea.
Oh yeah,
in
in Samurai Remnant. But I don't think it's
yeah,
the same person, no.
yeah, it's probably not, but I believe it was spelled the same way, and that's what threw me off the first time looking through the book. Looking through it. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then also just want to quick mention a few mysteries that still continue, right? So one is that we still do not know who True Rider's master is. I feel like that will be revealed in season 2. We also will most likely figure out what Ishtar is doing, as previously mentioned. We'll see the ramification of Flat's death as well. I want to kind of see what the heck that Mr. Van did. I'm kind of curious because you just assume that like something involving a lot of death, and also I want to see what happens to Tsubaki because technically she kind of just put herself in a coma again, which is why but she does have one command seal left. So I'm kind of curious what's going to happen to her, whether she's going to be under the church because her parents are essentially out of commission. They're not dead though. I think Sigma actually didn't kill them. I think he just because they were groaning in pain, so I don't think they're actually dead. I just think they're in real bad shape at the very least. Yeah. What do you guys think?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Let's see. Wait, did you hear me, Avalon?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I just wondering, did you hear what I said? Just like the last few
you-
like or do you want me to repeat myself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, can you repeat?
Yeah, no worries. I'll just repeat it. Okay. So, just to quickly recap. So, I just want to quickly mention a few ending mysteries that haven't been resolved yet. So, first is we do not know who True Rider's master is. I think we got a hint of who it could be, but we don't. I think that will be revealed in season 2. We'll also figure out what Ishtar's planning. I also want to see the consequences of Flat being dead. So we'll see what happens because I know that Mr. Van did something. Also I want to see what happens to Tsubaki because technically she's like essentially in a coma. I don't think she actually died. I think she's still in a coma essentially. So I'm kind of interested in what's going to happen to her, or she's going to be under the protection of the church since her parents are incapacitated by Sigma. At least those are a few of the remaining mysteries.
It's hard. Again, I'm familiar with what happens in the novel, so it's hard for me to comment on some of his stuff.
Okay, but I guess okay. So I guess like at least we'll see what happens in season 2 essentially. But those are I think some questions at least at the moment I have.
Yeah, I can echo, no pun intended. I can echo those sentiments myself. Yeah, but honestly, for what could probably be summed up as maybe like a build-up season for like the crazy stuff to come, I was really, really invested all the way through it. It just feels like a grab bag of Nasuverse madness. Even more so than that of like Carnival Phantasm, and of course the Carnival Phantasm sequel that I still have not watched, but still. I feel like if you are a huge fan of the Nasuverse and you've committed to it in some shape or form, this is like a theme park for you. There's so much here. You don't even have to be a Fate fan to appreciate this. As the Tsukihime fan in me really felt seen watching this. This is the closest I am going to get to having a good Tsukihime anime. Oh, wait, sorry, I forgot. Guys, can we fix that? I made a mistake. There is no Tsukihime anime. Excuse me. I'm full of shit.
Okay. Okay.
Honestly, yeah, I'm pretty excited to see how what comes up is gonna be how what's coming up is gonna be animated like. Hopefully it doesn't come in like a decade from now. But yeah, I'm pretty bummed.
Yeah, because I think if I can remember, I think the development time of this year's took about 6 years. So hopefully 6 years or less.
Don't remind me. That's bad. That's scary to think about.
Hey, in a couple of years, it really will be 2030, and if the moon doesn't turn out to be a magical supercomputer, we know we're in the wrong. Well, no, we actually will know we're in the right timeline because Earth isn't fucked, but as fucked. But
I don't know. The moon cell is probably one of the most horrifying concepts I've ever encountered in anything. Like that stuff scares me. And bear in mind, remember I'm still playing through CCC. I've only finished Classic Extra, and I already find the moon cell terrifying. I don't want to know what's going on in CCC. I'm still playing through that.
Oh, make sure you're playing. Make sure you're alone when you play through that game, please. I recommend.
I already know.
You do not. This is not the kind of game you can play with your parents walking into the room.
Yeah,
like I'm pretty sure having an actual porn folder open would be easier to explain than that.
It honestly would be. I don't want to have to explain to my mom. Is like, why does that girl say that she doesn't wear panties? I'm like, I don't have an answer for you. You're gonna have to ask Rennie about that one. I don't know. CCC is probably one of the strangest games I've ever played, but I really love it. If you ever do decide to play it, my humble opinion would be please play it as female Hakuno and choose Gilgamesh. You will have an
I
amazing
know. I had to
experience.
re-download it because it was on my old computer. I gotta do that.
I heard something a while ago that in the Fate CCC timeline, it was implied that Hakuno's servant before getting sent to the far side was actually Berserker Enkidu or something.
I haven't noticed that yet, but it wouldn't surprise me if that's the case, because it would explain how Gilgamesh came to them in the first place.
Yeah, it was a popular fan theory. I'm not sure if it was ever confirmed or deconfirmed or not. We just gotta hope for Fate Extra Record to come in if fucking Bamco didn't ruin everything, but yeah. Sorry, I'm so upset about that.
Oh, no worries. But
Anyone not in the know, Fate Extra Record got delayed indefinitely because Namco stopped being a publisher. Do know that it implied that there were some speculations that Bandai Namco also may have contributed to not getting an English version, because I believe the English language part got removed in the site after it was acquired by them. I think that's ancient history now that Namco's not publishing it, but yeah.
yeah, and I don't know if you guys heard the news about how Fate Extra Record essentially is not coming out this year at the very least. It's still in production, and I think if I can remember, I think Bandai Namco actually removed it from their listing of games too. So I feel like that's sadly putting it kind of in like at a limbo essentially. So I'm hoping that's not the case. I don't even know what happened, because I feel like it should have been pretty close to being done, but something happened. We don't really know the details. And I think okay, go.
Never underestimate Bandai Namco.
Honestly, I just think Fate Extra as a property is just cursed. That's just how I see it.
I was so excited too, because I heard they were including a lot of stuff that was originally cut, which would have been cool.
Would have loved to have seen that myself. I have a weird relationship with Fate Extra personally. Like, I'm hard pressed to tell you that the original Fate Extra is a favorite title of mine. It really isn't. But I do come back to it every now and again because I do like what it says about war and peace as a concept. I do appreciate it that way. But it's far from my favorite entry in the Fate series. But yet I keep coming back to it each and every time. But I can tell you this much so far though. CCC, that's where the genius is. Like granted, it's not fun having to explain where the genius comes from, because some people are thinking that I might be into it for the naughty bits, but it turns into the whole, what if I told you that the naughty bits are a lot more layered than you read than you would first assume. Like, that's the best part about it. Like, I feel like CCC punishes you if you look at things at a surface level. The game does this on a regular basis with a lot of the questions it throws at you. In fact, if you're a little too shallow, the game will outright kill you, and it's both funny and frustrating.
Yeah, like, who'd have thunk the game of love, sex, and consent is gonna have a lot of themes around love, sex, and consent.
Right? Exactly. And it's very sincere, and when you have like a raging misogynist, depending on how you interpret him anyway, like Gilgamesh around, it just makes the dialogue so much better and so much funnier.
He's this one's a proverbial landmine, so to speak. I would step on the king.
Gilgamesh would step on any landmine if it would make your day that much worse. He doesn't care, and that's why he's fun to have as your servant.
Yeah, I agree with that. Gilgamesh is a very complex man, to say the least. But yeah, I think we actually I just want to mention to you guys, we actually passed the 1 hour mark, so I think we'll probably start wrapping things up, because I feel like everyone pretty much said most of their thoughts. I guess if you don't mind, if you guys could share your closing thoughts, and I'll end with mine as well.
Oh, you want me to go first?
Yeah, Avalon, if you don't mind going first. Yep.
Yeah.
I think it was a pretty cool adaptation overall. It's been a while since I read since I read through the novels, but if I remember, they did cut and move things. I think they might have cut and moved things around. But I need to reread it. But overall, I'm pretty happy with what we've got and how certain characters were characterized, especially Flat. Flat was always going to be my favorite, and I'm glad they did him so much justice. And Jack the Ripper. I was waiting so hard to see From Hell animated, and I was not disappointed.
So, the extent of which I knew about Fate Strange Fake was like very early when I was getting into the Nasuverse, like back when I was starting to read Tsukihime and Fate Stay Night. And it was always something I had a direct interest in, but I just knew that I would probably never get to see it. But then when I heard that, of course, Ryuta, the the offer behind Bakano was involved, I became 10 times more interested than I already was. And I was always thinking to myself, how in the world would a cast would cast bending within a Fate universe work under the writer of the dude who knows how to create some of the most crazy ensembles on the planet? And not only did he knock it out of the park, but he kept me coming back for more each time. Not only that, but he also gave me Alexandre Dumas, who again is one of my favorite authors, and he has some of my favorite stories of all time. So I just got way more than I bargained for. And on top of that, as a Nasuverse fan who's gone through like literally everything, including Kara no Kyokai, this is like this is like crack to me, and I just can't get enough. I'm almost frustrated that I don't have a Noble Phantasm to throw me forward in the future, so I can know so I can know what's coming. I'll probably have to read the novels, which I've got no trouble doing. But yeah, overall, this is a damn good series. Highly recommended. Cannot praise it enough.
Okay, and I'll quickly end with mine. So essentially, I kind of echo both Avalon Kite's general like thoughts. I think overall, I think this adaptation did a pretty good job. Obviously, because it is a novel adaptation, they'll always end up cutting something, but that's what you have the novels for. You can just read to fill in the gaps. Not a big deal. I think I also was interested in the series because I respect Naruto as a writer. He's known for Bakano and Durara. He's extremely strong with ensembles, so I knew that he would do a good job, better than Apocrypha at the very least, with large casts. I'm obviously a big fan of Enkidu and Gilgamesh, so that naturally piques my interest as a fan. I also quite like Richard. He's quite a cool guy, and obviously Ayaka, because we will never probably get a Fate prototype adaptation ever in our lifetime, so this is what we get.
May that statement and age poorly like milk, please.
Yes, I would love it to age poorly.
Same here.
I think also most likely after this with this anime having ended, I think there's only 2 Type Moon works that are confirmed. This season 2 for Fate Strange Fake and Mahoyo's film, right? Or at least the first film, from what I can tell.
Yeah.
There's nothing confirmed otherwise. There's nothing confirmed with the Lost Spells, nothing confirmed for prototype or what's it called? Sky Blue Silver. I forgot what is it. That's like the prototype's prequel technically. I don't. We got nothing. There's not much Fate that's gonna be adapted soon. So, well, we take what we can get. And I'm very happy that this adapted. Was very adapted. Like they tried their best. They did their action. They're very dense. They're juggling a whole bunch of characters. The action is great. Looks great. Doesn't look janky for the most part. Has some outstanding animation moments, especially involving like characters using the noble phantasms. And yeah, overall excellent adaptation, and please do look forward to season 2. I am very excited for that. Hopefully they could finish it once volume 10 comes out, and then we could finally get a true ending for Fate Trained Fake's anime. Because luckily, I'll say at least with Type Moon works, they tend to be fully adapted, which doesn't happen often with franchises, especially anime related ones. So yeah, that's all from me, and yeah, thanks for watching, everyone, and hope you guys enjoyed listening, and yeah, all right, have a good rest of your evening, everyone. Take care.